Have you ever wondered how a brand takes just an idea and turns it into one of those incredible, stunning images you see in a big campaign? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on that exact process. We're going to follow the creative journey for a new luxury chocolate brand, right from a simple concept all the way to a photorealistic masterpiece. Okay, just take a look at this. The floating chocolate, that dynamic scatter of ingredients, the soft focus on the Riyadh skyline in the back. I mean, it looks like a high-speed photograph, something captured in a fancy studio, right? Well, it's not. This entire image was built from scratch inside a computer, and we're going to show you exactly how they did it. You know, every great campaign, it all starts with a vision. Before a single pixel even gets placed, there has to be a super clear idea of the story the brand wants to tell. And here it is. This is the creative brief for a brand new brand called Riyadh Chocolate. This document, this is the starting line for the whole project. The main mission was to create a cohesive and culturally rich campaign. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't just about showing off some chocolate, it's about telling a story. So let's break down those goals. First, it had to feel luxurious. That was non-negotiable for positioning the brand. Second, it absolutely had to connect to Saudi heritage to feel authentic. The visuals also needed to feature landmarks from both old and modern Riyadh, which would create this really beautiful blend of tradition and progress. These core ideas, they basically became the roadmap for every single creative decision that followed. So, with that vision crystal clear, the next step isn't to just jump into some complicated software. Nope, it's actually to go back to the real world. Because to build a convincing digital object, you first need to understand the physical one, inside and out. And wow, this slide just perfectly illustrates the task ahead. On the left, you've got the actual chocolate bars just photographed simply by the client, and on the right, you see those polished, perfect, aspirational images they wanted to achieve. The challenge is pretty clear, right? How do you get from A to B? Well, the answer starts with data. The client sent over photos of their product right next to rulers. Now, this might seem incredibly simple, but for 3D artists, this is pure gold. It gives them the exact scale, the proportions, the thickness of the bar, literally everything they need to build an accurate digital foundation. And this is where that collaboration really kicks into high gear. The creative team specifically mentioned how very helpful these photos and videos were. This back and forth with the client providing really detailed source material is exactly what makes the final result even possible. Okay, so with those solid references in hand, the artists can now finally start building the digital chocolate bar. Now this slide really gets to the heart of it. It's so easy to think that 3D work is all about some super complex software, but that's just not the whole story. For an experienced team like this, the technical modeling part is practically second nature. The real magic is in the artist's eye, their ability to look at those crucial reference photos and replicate what they see in reality digitally. The process itself is actually pretty straightforward. First, you study the references deeply. Second, you build out the basic shapes and structure. Third, and this is a huge one, you refine the model with client feedback. And finally, you get it all prepped for the next stages, texturing and lighting. And you can see that evolution right here. On the left, that's an early version of the 3D model, but after feedback and refinement, it evolves into the final approved model on the right. Just look at the improved texture, the more realistic filling inside. It's a tangible result of that whole collaborative process. Okay, so having a good model is one thing, but making it look so real you could almost taste it, photorealistic, that's a whole other level. This is where the tiniest little details and the artist's expertise really make all the difference. So, during one of the project calls, the team mentioned a pretty technical term, subsurface scattering. It sounds really complex, I know, but think about holding a gummy bear up to a light. You see how the light kind of glows from inside it? That's what this effect recreates. It gives the chocolate that soft, believable quality instead of making it look like a hard piece of plastic. And here is my absolute favorite insight from this entire project. To make the chocolate look perfectly real, the team had to intentionally add imperfections. Think about it, the tiny scuffs, the small indentations, those subtle little variations you'd find on a real chocolate bar. It's such a fascinating paradox. In the world of computer graphics, true perfection actually requires embracing imperfection. So after all the modeling, all the texturing, all the lighting, the vision finally comes to life. Let's take a look at the final approved images and see how they really delivered on that initial brief. First up, the classic product shot. Remember, the brief asked for clean, white background images to really showcase the quality and the details of each chocolate. And boom, here it is, polished, premium, and just perfectly executed. Next, remember that goal of connecting to Saudi heritage? Well, this shot does exactly that. By surrounding the product with culturally significant ingredients like dates and almonds, it tells a story of flavor and tradition without a single word. It's brilliant. The brief also called for that blend of old and new Riyadh. This custom hero image just nails it. We see the products in this luxurious, modern setting, and in the background, you have the iconic silhouettes of Riyadh's skyline. It's tradition and progress, all in one super elegant frame. And finally, it wasn't just about what the images showed, but how they made you feel. The client wanted a warm, inviting, and luxurious mood. And this lifestyle shot with its rich textures and soft, beautiful lighting absolutely captures that feeling of indulgence and hospitality. So what have we learned here? Going from a simple photograph to a stunning campaign isn't just a technical process. It's a deeply human one. It takes a clear vision, it takes constant feedback, and it takes a true partnership. Which kind of leaves us with a final question. What's the real difference between just a picture and a story? Well, as this project shows, maybe the answer is collaboration.